Hello YouTube, my name is Fag. Welcome to my channel. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And here we go. Alright, we've covered the best NES games before, right? And the best Super NES games. So I thought we would take a look at the greatest Sega Genesis games, according to fans. I don't think we've seen this before. If I have, let me know. I watched so many of these, some were similar, so. And here we go.
Here are the top 10 greatest Sega Genesis games of all time, according to fans of the Genesis and Mega Drive. Number 10 is Shinobi 3, Return of the Ninja Master. Shinobi
3,
games have always been highly regarded by fans, and one reason is how they convey the feeling of actually being a ninja. Shinobi 3 is no exception. You methodically walk through levels, handing out
I've only ever played the first Shinobi, so I have no experience with this one.
death to anyone that gets in the way. New to this game is the ability to dash by double tapping left or right, and you can also perform a downward kick. Having so many abilities makes for some solid gameplay, but what enhances the experience even more are the finely detailed graphics. Stage variety is a +2. One has you in a forest, another on a horse, another in a lab, another on a jet ski, and none of these stages are very long. They don't overstay their welcome. Apparently, the developers worked hard to keep you from getting bored, and they pulled it off with this one. Number 9 is
okay.
Shining Force 2. This is a tactical RPG where you go around recruiting
I haven't played this game either. They're about new games and all kinds of new stuff today. New old sci-fi I never watched, and now we got new game I've never seen.
allies, and then you take some of them into turn-based battles that take place on a grid. The previous Shining Force game on the Genesis was the same type of game, and it was also
Oh, so this is like Final Fantasy Tactics or Ogre Battle. Okay, I get it now.
praised, but the vast majority of Genesis fans believe that Shining Force 2 takes everything that game did and does it better. There are now promotion trees. The AI of the enemies during battle has been greatly improved, but the most common thing I see people saying is that the game's world feels large. It's full of places to explore. You can find hidden items and hidden characters who can join your team. According to one of the game's programmers, they almost made the game too large. They had to compress the files quite a bit to get them to fit on the cartridge, and it ended up taking up 99% of the memory space on the cartridge.
Almost need a second cartridge for this game. Can you imagine a dual cartridge game?
In case you're wondering, here's how I came up with this list. I combed message boards, YouTube videos, and YouTube comments sections looking for people who made their own personal top 10 list for the Genesis or Mega Drive. I ended up finding 184 of them. I then took all of those lists and applied a point system to them. Games that people declared number 1 got 10 points. Games that people declared number 10 got 1 point, and so forth. I then combined all the results into the list you see in this video. Altogether, it took me about 10 hours to find the lists, record them, and
I like how this guy does his research for these lists. And I like how he shows how he does his research too. That's neat.
Tabulate the findings. I'll add that my own opinion has no role in these rankings. My own personal top 10 list is a separate video on this channel, and since I like shoot 'em ups, the games I chose were way different from the ones on this list. I'll put a link to that video in the description. Number 8 is Golden Axe. When the Genesis first came out, it was an arcade porting machine. In fact, Golden Axe appeared on the Genesis less than a year after premiering in the arcades. You select between a dwarf with lightning magic, a barbarian with volcano magic, and an Amazonian woman with fire magic. People enjoy the fighting mechanics, the large sprites, and the music, which fits the setting perfectly. When you get close to a boss, the way the current music fades into the boss music just feels nice on the ears.
Man, I like this game, Golden Axe. It was a fun game.
Golden Axe
I used to play at the arcade a lot, the arcade version of
is
it.
a simple pick up and play, no tutorial needed, beat 'em up. And the best thing about it is that you can play it cooperatively with a friend. Number 7 is Sonic the Hedgehog, which
Ah, classic Sonic game. Here we go.
some now refer to it as Sonic 1 to avoid confusion. I can't think of any other game that was preordained for greatness like this one was. Sega wanted to create a character that rivaled the popularity of Mario, so they put a massive effort into developing such a character, and a massive effort into putting that character into a game that would rival the Mario games. At one point, this project was even called Defeat Mario. The final result was a game that didn't quite defeat Mario, but it did ignite one of the biggest rivalries in the history of console gaming, not only between Nintendo and Sega, but also between kids on recess, arguing over which console was the best, the Genesis or the Super Nintendo. For those who played Sonic at launch, it was likely the first time they saw a platforming game that moved so fast, and the first time they ever ran around a loop, and the first time they ever heard the Sega vocal at the startup screen.
That is so true. Sega.
It was like their Genesis system had been upgraded. Of course, the game looked gorgeous and was just fun to play, and it still holds up when you play it today.
Hi, Steady. Thanks for stopping in. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you here.
Number 6 is Castlevania
for the raid.
Bloodlines.
Thank you.
Genesis fans absolutely love the fact that they
I don't know
got a
why
Castlevania.
my stream's being laggy like that today. I'm doing good, doing good. We are watching the 10 greatest Genesis games of all time according to fans. Looking at games that some of us might have played or some of us might not have. Uh, hang on. Oh, I got the wrong command. I tried to give you a shout out. I'm sorry, Steady. I'm not quite good at the command yet. Ah, how'd you like it? Did you enjoy it? Oh, thank you, pal. I appreciate that. Which was the model well received for you? Did your audience like it? Ah, right. Well, that's good. I'm glad they liked it. But more importantly, did you like it? I'm glad you had a good time. I really am. And thank you again for the raid. I appreciate it. You're all welcome here. I appreciate every single one of you. Uh, yeah. That's always the main part, to have a good time, right? Try and enjoy yourselves. Have fun times with your chat. That's like the best part of it. All right, Sketty. Have a good one. All right, let's get back to the Sega games.
Game, and it was exclusive. Before then, the series had mainly been on Nintendo systems. It has all the things you would expect from the series, like zombies, bats, skeletons, fishmen, giant dudes in armor, ravens, Medusa, and Death himself. It may sound like more of the same, but in actuality, Bloodlines is quite different from the other Castlevania games. It has a more Genesis-like aesthetic. It's faster paced and is more experimental in terms of the color scheme and the lighting. And I could say this with every entry on today's list, but the music in Bloodlines is wonderful. It's almost reason enough to play the game.
Now, I did like this game, Castlevania Bloodlines on Genesis. I did like this game. I thought it was a fun addition to the Castlevania series.
Number 5 is Phantasy Star 4, the end.
Oh, Phantasy Star. I love Phantasy Star series. I think my favorite was 2 or 3. And that's hard to pick just one, but I really liked the Phantasy Star series. I did.
End of the millennium. People often say that the Super Nintendo had better RPGs than the Genesis, which may be true, but then again, it could also mean that people are unaware of how good some of the RPGs on the Genesis actually are. And Phantasy Star 4 is a good one. The story takes place across different planets and has a futuristic setting, which set it apart from most RPGs at the time. I personally have never played it other than to capture this video, but from what I've read, this game improves on the previous games in just about every department. The dungeons are better designed, making them less easy to get lost in. The graphics have also been improved. People also enjoy the characters, specifically the way they interact with each other through these comic book style windows, which I believe are the first of their kind in a Phantasy Star game. The art within those windows is very well done, and the chatting doesn't go on forever like in other games. People also say that the combat has improved. Overall, Phantasy Star 4 is a grand adventure that Super Nintendo fans should probably check out.
Most definitely. If you get a hold of a classic Genesis console, definitely play some of the Final Phantasy Star series. I think you'll like them too.
Number 4 is Cliffhanger.
Now, I've never played this game. I didn't know they had this game out. I'm assuming by the look of it that it's supposed to be based off the movie. So, we'll see what you have to say about it, though.
Just kidding. That's not number 4.
Here we got debated. He gets me every time.
Number 4 is actually Gunstar Heroes. In 1992, some people left Konami and formed a new company called Treasure, and Gunstar Heroes was one of the first games they developed. It obviously resembles Contra, which isn't a surprise, since 2 of its programmers previously did work on Contra 3 for the Super Nintendo. Gunstar has a rather unique weapon system. Before starting, you choose one of 4 weapon types. That choice will fill the first of 2 slots. As you play, the same 4 weapons appear as icons on the playfield, and you can pick one of those up to fill the second slot. You will then have a weapon that fuses the 2 base weapons together, or if you don't want to use that, you can just toggle and use one of the 2 base weapons by themselves. People enjoy Gunstar Heroes because of how action
That sounds interesting. The game I wouldn't mind trying.
intensive it is. It pretty much exemplifies the term blast processing. It also has that Genesis attitude to it, with its wacky boss encounters and cartoony look of all the little characters. But besides all that, this game is just fun to play, and that's why it's here at number 4. Number 3 is Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the vanilla version. All the things I said about the first Sonic game apply here too. Fast speed, spectacular graphics,
All the Sonic games were a hit. Up to Sonic Spinball, I think. I don't know if they made one after that or not.
awesome music, but for this one, the stages are a lot more expansive and they're packed with a lot more secrets. It rewards you for exploring and looking around. There are 3D bonus stages that you can find by locating rings in the scenery. There's also some new power-ups, including a flame shield, which gives you a mid-air attack, a water shield, which keeps you from running out of air while underwater, and a lightning shield, which causes rings to come to you and gives you a double jump. And to top it off, the cartridge has a battery backup, so you can save your progress. It's an awesome game and a testament to a time when Sega was running on all cylinders. Up until this point, the games on this list have been very close together in terms of the points that I tabulated. The games in the top 2 spots, however, ended up way above the other games on this list. But before I get into
What they are. We on to honorable mentions.
those, I want to show you some honorable mentions. These are ones that just barely missed making the list. I'm going to show you a lot of mentions, but I'm going to go through them rather quickly here. And these are in no particular order. Outrun, Comix Zone, Rocket Knight Adventures,
You just like some good games, wouldn't mind trying.
The Revenge of Shinobi, Shining Force, the first one,
Oh, now Shining Force, I think I remember that one. It's like a old Zelda type game, not more like the Zelda, what was it called? Link to the Past. I think it was like that one, in a way.
Disney's Aladdin,
Now, I didn't much care for this game. It was a decent platformer, but that was about it.
Ghouls and Ghosts,
I remember Ghouls and Ghosts. But you guys remember Ghouls and Ghosts?
Lightning Force, Quest for the Dark Star, also known as Thunder Force 4. Contra Hardcore,
Oh, that country game. Alright.
Streets of Rage, the first one, also known as Bare Knuckle in Japan. Castle of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse. Then
Well,
we have
it
Sonic and
appears-
Knuckles. For those who don't know, this is a standalone game, but you can connect it to the other 3.
It appears my chat box quit working. Give me a second. Yeah, I don't know. Hang on. Yeah, their server just went down for my chat box, so sorry guys, I have to go back to the old chat.
Sonic games. And if you happen to connect it to Sonic 3, it causes the 2 games to combine into a super game
Oh, I remember
called
that.
Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Some people in their own top 10s only said Sonic and Knuckles, and others said Sonic 3 and Knuckles. That's a messy situation to deal with when you're trying to do a combined top 10 list like this one. Some of those people who said just Sonic and Knuckles may just like the base game, or they may like the fact
Now, they're almost always lumped together because to the same game cart, you can just add the 3 onto it if you wanted to. So, They always get lumped together because of that.
Fact that it could be connected to Sonic 3 for a bigger game. Either way, both Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic 3 and Knuckles both scored high enough to be honorable mentions. If I had decided to combine those two, then they would have landed at number 3 on this list, bumping the vanilla version of Sonic 3 down to number 4. Number 2 is Streets of
Alright.
Rage 2, also known
Oh,
as
yeah, here we
Bare
go.
Knuckle 2
Side-scrolling fighter game. There we go.
in Japan. The first game was already an impressive beat-em-up that turned a lot of heads in the gaming community, but Streets of Rage 2 took everything that game had and turned it up to a 10. It featured big, beautiful sprites, spectacular movesets, 4 characters to play as, enormous enemy variety, a high number of enemies per screen, memorable locales, silky smooth animations, and vivid graphics in all areas of the screen. The music is peak Genesis, and it's so involving with the gameplay that some part of your brain might think that you're at a club dancing. The bottom line is, Streets of Rage 2 is one of the greatest beat-em-ups of all time, and it needs to be considered for the Video Game Hall of Fame at some point.
I can agree with that. It was a great fighting game at the time.
Number 1 is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I bet you didn't see that coming. As much as people loved the first Sonic game,
We got a lot of Sonic games on this list. That really surprised me though. Sonic is like the mascot of Sega, so they put a lot of effort into those games and the shows.
many people agree that this sequel improved upon it in a number of ways. For one thing, it introduced the spin dash, where you sit still and charge yourself up, and then do a sudden burst of speed. And now you have a companion, Tails, who keeps you company and also allows a second player to join the action. There's also a 2-player split screen mode. I'm sure there's many people watching who used to play this game with a sibling or friend, and I have no doubt that you cherish those memories. So yeah, people have positive memories in association with this game. Many people also consider the stage design in Sonic 2 to be an improvement. They take better advantage of Sonic's speed, and they introduce a lot more interactive elements. The Casino Night stage is particularly cherished because it puts you inside a
And that's what Sonic Spinball is based off of. The pinball aspect of this one.
giant pinball table. And somehow they were able to make all these stages brighter and more colorful than the ones in the original game. In the end, the Genesis was just blessed to have so many great games and to have so many great Sonic the Hedgehog games. All gamers should be thankful that the Genesis existed. Thank you for watching this video. Like I mentioned before, I have my own personal top 10 Sega Genesis games list, and I'll put that on the screen in front of you. In the meantime, I'm gonna go make another list. See you next time.
Alright. That was the 10 greatest Genesis games of all time according to fans. By Gaming the System. Guys, enjoy that?